Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Theta Token. Before we jump into the price, I actually just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel or you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications. Leave us some feedback down below. And in the description, you'll also find like a Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Okay, so we're going to go over a couple of things here. Looking at Theta from the top here, I'm looking at this in two ways. Potentially, we could actually complete into this low point, but alternatively, we could argue that we still have something like this playing out where actually we look at this as a W into here, an X, and we're looking for that Y wave to the downside still. So the way I'd be looking at this is effectively we'd have an A wave into here, then potentially this is a B to the downside, and looking for the C to the upside. So we can see we're still within this channel, and effectively that channel line would actually be here at this $1.37.8. If we did move up higher, that would be an important zone. Obviously, we have these swing highs here as well, which could be potentially challenged depending on how high this wants to progress here. We're going to go over the internal subwave counts, but it is also possible that we could see this move up higher here in this C wave and look to actually push through this channel a little bit and maybe retest this high point here. Though we are also looking for the potential to break down. So we're going to talk about those options within here. Before we jump into that, the other way that I'm potentially looking at this at the moment is looking at the fact that we could have actually completed in here. I don't really like the structure of this, looking at this as basically a wave 1 into here as a diagonal where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 5 flat for a B wave and then another 5. So A, B, C for 1, 2, 3 wave move, 3 wave move basically for a fifth. So this could be a possibility, but we'd need this move to prove itself, and we're going to go over the potential bullish option here as well as that, and then that could potentially be looking for a bigger move to the upside here depending on how the structure forms exactly. Potentially it could move up to some of these target zones. This would be a 1-to-1 of this A wave. However, it would be more likely that potentially, well, it is possible, but we need to be aware of these other price points that could come into play here, of this $30, $51, and so on and so forth. I've also highlighted a box here that could potentially mean, so the reason I'm just being a bit cautious here is this could always turn into being an A, B, and then actually push down again for a C wave, and then we actually look to retest lower down in the support zone. So this is just looking at sort of the macro scale of this. And potentially we could argue, you know, we could still come back down. We have come down to that 50%, but we could still come down lower here towards the 618 or the 786 zone. So there is always the possibility that we could actually push down that one more time here. Even if we do move up slightly, this could actually still tie into the fact that we could push down at a later date, but we could enjoy some gains up till that point. So we're going to discuss a few things within the internal counts now and where we think it's going on the shorter term here. Before we jump into that, actually I just want to talk about a couple of things here. So we can, on the daily, we can see that we are above, starting to break above this Ichimoku cloud, which is a good sign, and it's starting to turn green here. Generally speaking, when we do move into this and we fail to break above it, we do have another sell-off, as you can see by these times here. However, now we're starting to break above this. So this is a potentially bullish sign, but we'll have to wait for confirmation because these things can happen, like up here where they do start to turn green and then we actually still fall through it. So it needs more time for that confirmation. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that we are now starting to move above this 200 EMA. So this is a good sign for a bullish case here. However, we do have resistance just above us, and we do also have this this swing high here. So these are possible areas we could encounter some resistance if we do push up. What would be key here is seeing if we actually manage to hold this, or if actually we look to break down below it again and then potentially look for a retest and a rejection. So these are all important factors here. If we do jump over here onto the weekly, we can also see that the swing high here and the 50 weekly moving EMA is basically up here at this current area of $1.69. So if we do actually move up a bit higher here, this would be an area of interest as well. If we do push through that, effectively this the 200 EMAs, weekly EMAs sitting at this $2.31. So just some biggest picture stuff here. You know, I'd want to see a break above this channel first off, and then actually looking to maintain some of these areas. The Ichimoku on the weekly, obviously we still have a huge cloud above us, so even if we did move up here, you know, there is potential to actually get a rejection off of this, like I was saying, as a B wave, and then actually look to push down deeper. So we just need to be a little bit cautious overall here, and see how this unfolds. Okay, so let's get into the smaller time frame now. What we would be looking for here on the smaller time frame is I'm looking at this move in two ways currently, and effectively off of this, if I just zoom out here a bit more, there we go. Let's turn off this one. So I'm looking at this in two ways. So I'm looking at the potential that we could be forming either an A, B, and a C to the upside, or alternatively, we could be looking for a 5-wave structure. So this is for a bigger breakout that I'm currently tracking. And the way I'm looking at this currently is that this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 into this high. This is a W, X, and Y as a connector wave. And then potentially we could be looking to form this bigger 5-wave move to the upside. Confirmation would only come by actually pushing above this $2.12 zone. But for as long as we hold these zones of this $1 and this support box here of $1.13 to this $1.05, you know, we could still look for that potential that what we have is a move here where this actually becomes a 1. We come back down for a retest on a 2, and then actually we look to push to the upside. There is also potential for extension within this. We can argue that potentially this is a completed move here where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is a 4th and a 5th here. But I am preferring this, and the way I'm looking at it is as a triangle. It's an A, B, C, D, and E into this point, and then actually looking for this 5th wave to come up a little bit higher here. So for the most part, we've actually come into the zone that we're looking for this 5th wave. It can potentially look to push up a little bit higher here. This 133 would be the top end of this range, and then potentially this $1.28, we've already met that. So we just need to be careful that we don't start to break down from this point. We can see that the stochastic on the 1 hour and the 1 hour is high. The 4 hour still has quite a bit of room, but the 8 hours is still high as well, and the daily is heading up there. So, you know, we need to just be a little bit cautious. We're coming up to resistance here, and the stochastics are also pretty high here, so we just need to be aware that we could start to see some pullbacks. If we do actually complete this 5th wave to the upside here, and we actually look at this completing in this box area, this green box area is where we're looking for that potential for continuation, where we're looking to actually continue this push up. Though, like I said, confirmation would only come by moving above this $2.12. So effectively, the other way I'm looking at this move is that we could potentially see something like this unfold, rather, where actually we're still in a correction, because this this wave 2 wouldn't have been very deep, or this B wave. So one thing I must say is obviously there is also the possibility this doesn't develop into a 5-wave move, and rather we develop into a C wave. So the C wave location, I've actually just taken this off of this 50% here, but if we did have to just move up in a 3-wave move instead of a bigger 5-wave move, something like this, what we would then be looking for potentially is this target of this 148.4. So I would be still looking for a pullback in this count, and the way we'd be looking at this internally, which is slightly different, basically this move here would be an ABC to the downside, this would be an AB and a C to the upside, and then actually looking for that potential to break down in a 5-wave move. So what we'd want to see for confirmation of this would actually be moving up. So the zone for this is sort of this teal box area here, and basically there's some interesting price points here. So there's 1382 of A sits at this 129, and the 1.6 sits at this $1.35.3. So if we do actually move up a little bit more here, we can see how this would actually, this 1.3382 would actually tie in with a retest of, well, moving back into this box area like we're talking about in that 5-wave count. So that's the same in either of these options. But basically, a move back into this zone and a retest of this high could lead us to a sell-off to the downside of this C wave. However, if we do actually manage to break above this $1.35, we'd need to be on the lookout for the potential we could actually have some extension here, where instead of looking at this as an A, we can potentially argue that we could look at this as a diagonal into this high here, and then we'd have the possibility that this could become a 1, 2, and then actually we're looking to progress up here in a third wave. So that 1.618 would be here. However, it wouldn't allow a lot of space for the fourth wave, so that's why I'm not really putting a great deal of confidence in it. It is, like I said, also possible, that this could just be a corrective move into this low point and actually just starting a new move from here, where that's a WX and a Y. So yeah, there's still a couple of possibilities here. But what this would be looking for is basically coming down one more time, back down towards this green support range, and then actually looking for this push to the upside here. If we did come down to that 50%, like I said, that $1.96 would be the target area as a 5-wave move, where we'd then look for that additional fourth and potential fifth to the upside. However, if we just see this play out as a 3-wave structure and we do get this move back down here, what we could see is just basically a 3-wave move, something like this, up into this zone. And we can see that this would sort of leave us in the middle of nowhere unless it extends up and sort of retests this high. So that'll be an interesting area to see how things progress. Yeah, so I mean, that's what we got at the moment. We will try to keep you up to date with more moves as we see them playing out. But basically, for as long as we hold these support zones and we continue to hold these lows, we can still argue that we are looking for the potential to extend up here. I mean, this looks like it does need an additional push to the upside here with as a 1, 2, 3, potentially 4 and a 5. So we could actually come up a little bit higher here, but I do think we've actually met that requirement. Though, yeah, we'll have to see. If we do retrace to the downside, the support box is going to be important. Holding this $1 if we're looking for that bullish potential of actually getting a more explosive move to the upside. If this is correct, however, so if this is a correct move though, if our analysis is correct within this, what we'd want to see on this retracement after this B wave to wave 2 to the downside, if we're looking for that 5-wave structure, is this next wave should start to get quite impulsive in nature, and it should be quite a strong wave that starts to pick up a lot of volume and really sort of gets quite vertical here and starts pushing us up. So that's something to just be on the lookout for confirmation. If we do move down into this zone, and it starts just moving around sort of sideways here, then it becomes less likely that that's the case, and then I would potentially still be looking at that possibility of just this whole move here as a corrective structure, and then actually we are looking to break down the alternative, which I haven't put a lot of confidence into it yet. It is also possible we could argue that we have something like this, where actually this is, instead of a 1, an A wave, and then we could actually just look for a diagonal here where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 as an expanding diagonal. But there's not enough information yet to confirm that either. So what we'd want to see is basically the problem with this is we would have to either count this as a wave 1 as a diagonal, and then look for that 3, 4, and a 5. So actually something more like this, where we complete, then we come here and then we form 3-wave structure instead of 5-wave structure. And then this would be a terminal move. If that's the case, this would indicate that this is the end of a move here, and then we'd be looking for that potential to break to the downside. If we did get it like this, we could potentially argue that we could shift some of these wave counts across slightly, and then actually our fourth comes into here, and then we end this move with the diagonal as a 5th. So these are always options that are available. But yeah, for the most part, with the current structure we have, these are the most likely counts in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. In the description you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just add mention member staff. We'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Also in the description, you'll find affiliate links for both BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. So check it out if you don't have an account. Using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone, I'm going to leave it there. Have a great day.